Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Telling Tales. I am Matt. I am your GM for the evening, and we are playing Symbaroum, the tabletop role-playing game of dark fantasy from Fria Ligan Games. As per usual, we are ably stream managed by John, who will pop on and say hello. Hello, John. Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm all right.
John will be managing chat, managing pictures, managing the cameras,
Managing the bots.
managing the bots, doing all that good stuff, while I sit here in my white zombie shirt that looks disturbingly like a turtleneck. It's not. I just want to. It's not the thing. So, thanks to John, who will be with us all the way through, albeit off screen, and time for me to do the plugs before we get to the interesting stuff, right? We've got a bunch of links down below. We've got our social media, which is mostly at Telling Tales RP. We've got our YouTube, which is where our VODs go if you want to watch all the way back from the beginning. And we've got a Patreon as well. Should you want to sponsor us that way, you're also welcome to subscribe to us here on Twitch. So, beyond all that, let's have a quick recap of what happened in the last session. We didn't normally we do a thing where we introduce people and they each describe one of the big action-packed scenes that happened, but last week was more of a setting up for the story going forward, really. The crew of adventurers had located and disposed of the maddened serial killer known as the Flayer. And it was basically a few months later after that, they were contacted by the Ordo Magica and kind of half instructed, half pleaded, half blackmailed slightly into going after the Copper Crown, which has been taken into, or maybe taken into, the ruins in Davakar. And basically an Ordo Magica expedition has set out. They'd lost contact with them, and now it is up to our reluctant crew of folks to go and see what the hell's going on. So they'd basically just gone down to a luckily sighted nearby river and have hopped on a boat up north. Only people on the boat seem to be disappearing. That's not good. And with that in mind, let's bring our folks on one by one. Let's bring on Chris, who plays Steo, our city guard / curmudgeonly former infantryman. Hello, Chris.
Hello, everybody.
How are you tonight?
Very tired, but I will excited to get back on the spooky ghost boat.
You'll soldier on just like Steo. And there he is. What a handsome man. Steo's not half bad either. Hey,
right.
Yeah, you sounded thrilled. Let's bring on Mike next. Mike plays Anton, the Theurg and sometime healer of the party.
Rarely.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys.
Good.
Banter complete.
Absolutely wonderful. How's Anton feeling about having to go back to the? Well, not that he's been to the horrors of Davakar. This is his first time venturing there, isn't it? So,
yeah, I don't think he's too thrilled about it. I don't think he's too thrilled about any part of this experience up north. I suspect that he's feeling a little bit disillusioned with his task in Thistlehold, his assignment there, and is now pretty much in on my own, and I will follow wherever Prios takes me. So yeah. I think that's how he's feeling about it.
Filthy, weak-willed southerner. Yeah. We welcome all our viewers from the south. So let's bring on Elle next. Elle plays Ephanea, tall and mighty barbarian warrior woman who
very much so, which detracts from the fact that I am definitely not a tall, mighty warrior woman in real life.
No. I mean, you're a warrior woman, obviously, but just not,
actually. To be fair, I'm not that short either. I'm like 5'7". No, you're not. So there we go. I am a tall warrior woman after all.
So there we go. We are one of the only streams to feature a genuine tall warrior woman. Tell your friends. So let's bring on the final member of our party, which is Sam, who plays Askarai, our changeling ranger. And I'm not even going to do the pun this time around. I tire of it.
It's change rangeling. There's no going back.
Changeling. Rangeling. How's Askarai? How's his mask?
Pretty good at the moment, although perhaps, as always, perhaps for not too much longer. We'll see how the boat trip goes.
I don't know what you mean. So with that in mind, let's get straight to the boat-based action. So you are aboard the River Maiden, a small watercraft heading north along the river, and essentially you had found out on your first day of travel that one of the boat's crew had disappeared in the days prior, and kind of her whereabouts were unknown. And after talking with another rather superstitiously minded member of the crew, you had found out that at least her and maybe some other people seemed to believe it had something to do with sacrifices that hadn't been made to a kind of river goddess. You went to bed on the deck, nothing too fancy here, and you awoke to hear the captain crying out because presumably another crew member has gone missing. He was crying out the name of Arello, the head river roamer, who you had very, very briefly interacted with the day before. And that's where we pick it up. Right there. So, who's doing what?
So yeah, we just woken up. I can't quite so we just woken up to the cries of the master. Yeah,
literally just there you are.
Yeah, so I think I'd probably want to be one of the first on deck, because obviously I was the one that originally spoke to the superstitious barbarian shipmate whose name I've temporarily forgotten.
And just to make sure, you did say shipmaid there, didn't you?
Yes.
I thought you were calling her a shitmaid, which seemed... I mean, it's an amazing new insult you have that my brain has crafted. But it also seemed needlessly hostile, but that's fine.
No, yeah, that's just the terrible northern accent coming out. But yeah,
no,
so
we
I think
only hate Southerners here, Elle. We don't hate
It's true. But yeah, I'll pop out on the deck, and I think I'll ask, just kind of in between shouting, ask the captain, what's happened, basically, feigning ignorance.
Sure. The captain, Ogval, a relatively young man, kind of turns round to you and says, "Arello, one of the crew. Have you seen him?"
No, I mean I've only just awoken myself. I'm assuming we didn't make port in the middle of the night.
No. As he's saying this, the other two remaining members of the crew, Tamri, the superstitious one, and Migra, who's a goblin, have kind of clambered up from the cargo deck and are looking around. Tamri has a kind of a stern, determined expression on her face, and Migra looks quite panicked. And they both start calling out for Arello as well.
Is it possible to climb the rigging, the mast, and get a higher vantage point and have a look around, see if I can see it?
Are you going to suggest this to one of the crew, or is Anton going to try his hand at climbing the rigging himself?
I don't know if I trust my ability to roll. I might suggest it to one of the crew.
Sure.
I was going to say, because if you had those short robes on, it would just be a horrendous view for everyone.
Just hike them up.
I was thinking it would be much better for climbing, less impedance in a way. But yeah,
in a way, it'd be better for climbing, but not as good for the people below you. Who are So you say this, and Mira kind of looks over at you and goes, "Yes, yes," and she starts kind of scampering up the rigging. I mean, it's not far. The mast isn't exactly huge, but she's kind of on the top where there's again. Chris will be my savior of these terms, but there's no like stereotypical, like, you know,
Crow's nest.
safe crow's nest.
I knew that one.
There's just a platform. There's just a circular platform,
Which is also a crow's nest.
well, there we go then. And Migra, she is kind of like, you know, trying to look out over the rolling fields. Well, I say fields, more kind of wild meadows that are around you. The darkness that is Davakar is still on the horizon. Tamri has kind of dragged the captain to one side and is saying, I told you this would happen. He's gone too. She's taken him. And the captain's just desperately trying to calm her down.
I'll kind of be getting myself up and dressed and kind of also grumbling along the lines of, lads, I completely called this. Look, we talked about this yesterday. Just pay the goddamn tax. God. Not addressing it to anyone, just kind of grumble, steal. Hashtag steal.
It's not as cool as hashtag never regret Pappy, but I'll accept it. But yeah, I think I will. Is Tamri's still like on like deck, isn't she? So yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of make my way over to her and just be like, oh,
I mean, she's in the middle of a quite intense conversation with the captain.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and kind of not inconspicuously at all, like listen to what's going on between her and the captain, and possibly provide backup on Tamri's side where needed, I think.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the conversation is much as I just said. You know, she's obviously believes that a sacrifice, because a sacrifice was not made, Arello has disappeared too, and the captain definitely does not seem to believe this and is just trying to kind of calm her down and rationalize with her.
I think I'm going to try and like interject a little bit and just say, look, what harm could it do? All we're doing is releasing a little bit of the catch. If I recall, it is just like a bit of like the food,
this isn't necessarily a fishing boat, but like some food, I guess, would be the equivalent.
Yeah, it's like, look, we're not a large crew. I'm happy to go without. You're 2 crew members down now. You say we didn't port in the evening. It could be as Tamri says. It could be as you say. I see no reason not to test Tamri's theory, and if we give a sacrifice and then no one else disappears, we know.
Ogval nods slightly and turns to Tamri and tells her to go kind of double check down in the cargo deck. And as she kind of goes off to do so, he wheels on you and says, I need you to shut the fuck up.
And I will immediately round on him and just say, look, you've got 2 crew members missing. Where on your boat? I don't really fancy my chances going missing. Never quite liked the water. I don't know what you're thinking, but if you're hiding something...
Do you know how many other river captains on this river throw sacrifices out to a river goddess?
I don't know how many other river captains on this river have members of their crew going missing on the regular.
But the point is, young lady, that they don't. And they also do not give sacrifices to a river goddess.
What does it matter?
At this point, Anton is going to intervene and try and keep some peace in between them.
He appears and says nothing.
So he kind of froze to me there. So listen, this can be resolved in a calm way. We do not need to add to the stress of this situation right now. Has anyone checked has anyone checked Arello's belongings? Are they all still there? Is anything unusual? Is anything misplaced?
Apart
we
from
need to
Arello.
think clearly and logically about this.
I have checked that his belongings are there. They are. I have not looked through them, and even were I to do so, I would not be able to conclusively say whether something is missing.
And how long has Arello been working on the river?
On the river or on the ship?
Well, both.
On the river, his entire adult life, give or take, whether it be this river or another. On this ship, 10 years. I know the man. He wouldn't just... The other crew member, she was relatively new. I wouldn't have put it past her to flee the ship for whatever reason. I don't think I gave her any cause to. Arello, no. He wouldn't jump the ship in the middle of the night.
Arello has been working on the ship for the past 10 years, and he is a steadfast member of the crew. How long have you been captaining this ship yourself, Ogval?
I have been captaining the ship for 6 months.
So it does not
And
strike
crewing
you
it.
as concerning.
And crewing it since before Arello came aboard.
It just seems like she's going to try and like de-escalate slightly. And she's like, I am sorry if I offended your captaining. However, it just seems that the easiest way to put one of your crew members' minds at rest, which may get better work from her, plus also to perhaps solve the mystery of what's going on, is to just offer a sacrifice for a short amount of time. How else are you going to test it? Would you rather risk the lives of the rest of your crew members? What happens if you wake up tomorrow and Tamri's gone, and then the day after, and someone else has gone? I'm not willing to let my party disappear for no good reason if it could be prevented. If it turns out that people still disappear if sacrifice is being made, then fine. The hell with it. We don't do it anymore.
And I'm not willing to have heathen sacrifices on my boat. Father, surely you agree with me with this.
I've made my feelings about this known, but I believe that it's our responsibility to go with your beliefs. It is your boat that we are guests on. However, this is a grave situation, and I do believe that Athenea is thinking about this clearly and fairly, and I do not want to disrespect her wishes and views on this.
I will clap Anto on the back then and just say, look, what have I cannot be bothered talking with you anymore. You clearly don't want to see sense. If any more members of your crew come missing, do not bother looking to me to find them. And I'm just going to stalk off somewhere.
At this point, I'm kind of going to roll up and interject myself in a very guardsman-like manner and go, so, I'll take first watch tonight then, I suppose?
Exactly, Steo. There are other ways to do this. We can take watches, be more cautious in how we sleep on this boat, and maybe try that.
I have no objection to this. And look, if the barbarian girl, if Tamri want to throw their own rations into the river and say their own words, that's fine. I'm not here to tell them what to believe. But I won't have it done as a act by the captain of this boat. What they believe will bring us good luck, I believe will bring us foul. By turning our gaze from the light of Prios.
It seems like we already have foul luck.
Aye, we do. but not all luck is given by gods and spirits.
Well, there's other things that might live in this river. Doesn't have to be a god or a spirit. There's plenty of things that live in this forest and in this river that are beyond your understanding or my understanding. And it seems like, for whatever reason, you've attracted the attention of one of these creatures.
Aye. Well, maybe. Regardless, I would consider it a favour if you and your friends could help me search this vessel. Perhaps Arello is yet on board. Perhaps there's been foul play.
Perhaps. I will do my best for my part. But
All
I
right.
think FNA is probably correct.
Well,
Come on, let's go take a look.
I and the crew will take below decks. If you can take everything here, can we have the little map of the boat at this point, please, John? Is that the stern, the back, right, Chris?
Yes, well done.
Yep. So as you can see, there's like kind of a raised section, and then the lower section at the back with the rudder, and there's the main deck and stuff like that. After saying this, kind of Migra is still in the crow's nest, kind of trying to scan around the boat, and Ogval and Tamri head down. Well, Tamri was already down in the cargo deck, but Ogval heads down there as well. Are the four of you searching the deck? Is anyone not participating or looking anywhere in particular?
Question,
So
is Earthon still with us, by the way?
Yeah, Earthons is still with you. I'm just mostly ignoring him because
cool.
there's plenty of NPCs on the go here. Earthons at this point will happily go along with whatever you guys do.
My search for my part is, while all of the actual crew are under the deck, I'm going to be kind of building a little bit of a manifest. What are in these bags and sacks and boxes, and how much can I work out without causing? Yeah,
I mean, you can give them a bit of a prodding. The ones that you can see on the deck either seem to be, equipment for use on the deck, or belongings of people traveling on board. I mean, there's only one passenger other than yourselves, Harasto, the scholar, and definitely he's got a couple of chests that are his property, like small chests. But the bags and the sacks and the thing, it's lines and, other ship things. Yeah. Lines and tackle and stuff. Yeah, I know words.
Yep.
Ship words.
What about what's Harasto doing in all this? I might try and needle him a little.
He's observed the goings on from more at the rear of the ship, kind of from under where the cloth is hung to provide you with a bit of cover at night. But after the conversation happened, he just seemed to wander back in, and now he seems to just be sat on one of his chests, leafing through a notebook.
Say we kill him and take his stuff.
I will be searching the stern area of the boat if I
Sure.
just put anything that might give an idea of where Rello is or has gone.
Absolutely.
I think FNA would want to check where. I know she wasn't there when the captain said that we'd be searching like above and they'd be searching below, but she doesn't trust him at this point. Thinks he's a bit of a fool, so I think she wants to search. She's basically going to wait until the crew and the captain have gone below, and she's just going to follow them to make sure there's nothing untoward happening, because I don't like the fact that he's separated us out. Like, I'm just like, what's he trying to hide?
All right.
This asshole.
Sure.
She doesn't like him now.
I can tell.
No one tells FNA to shut the fuck up. Except Steel, probably. And Dirac.
I'm actually going to go over and because this search is clearly not going to take too long. This is not.
No.
This is not a large boat. I'm going to kind of sit down next to I forget his name, but the Arasto, the antiquarian, and go, what do you make of all this then, antiquarian?
I don't particularly make anything of it. It's fairly clear to me the two crew members either got drunk and fell overboard or perhaps ran off in the night.
Oh, nasty business. You go anywhere near that forest and stuff just starts going missing. Well,
he kind of shrugs and generally gives the impression he's not particularly interested in this topic of conversation.
Yeah. I'll take the hint and move away, but this guy has got my hackles up. Effie, when are you coming back on deck? I wouldn't mind a chat with you.
I'm only going to check to see that nothing untoward's happening when we're not there to oversee
let's carry out the search and see how long it takes. And also, Anton, where are you looking? What are you doing?
I guess I'll just kind of make my way to where everyone else isn't and just start there.
That would be the kind of fore deck, the forward part of the deck, because no one is searching there at the moment. So, Sam, I reckon you've probably got to where you're going the quickest. And do you want to give me a vigilant test, please?
Okay. I made it.
Okay. You don't really see anything untoward. I mean, you're not overly familiar with riverboats and what is and isn't meant to be there. But you can't see anything untoward. There's no sign of a struggle. There's no, nothing particularly to note.
Yeah.
So let's have a roll from Anton, please. A vigilant roll.
And I don't make it.
Okay. You're kind of rummaging around, around where the oars are and the hatch to the cargo deck, and you don't really see anything. And as you kind of stand up and put your hands on your hips and sort of resign yourself to giving up, there's a cry from the top of the crow's nest, and the goblin Migra says, "Hoi, priest!"
Okay, I'll look up.
What's that glinting there? She points at kind of one of the channels carved along the side of the ship. There is like a silvery glint from it.
Ooh, okay. I'll go a little bit closer and investigate.
It is what looks like a small silver token on a bracelet, and it is quite easily recognizable as like a kind of rising half sun. You've seen relatively similar little designs. It's a symbol of Prios, essentially. Kind of nothing the church would officially use. It's like a little charm that someone's bought and worn or inherited. But it definitely doesn't look like it belongs where it is. It looks like someone's dropped it or discarded it, and it's slid into one of these little runways along the sides of the ship.
Okay. I think at this moment I'll call for the captains or a nearby member of the crew who knows Arello better than any of us.
Sure. Elle. Let's say, so you've gone down in the cargo deck. Let's say as you came into the cargo deck, obviously Ogval and Tamri are already there searching. There's a kind of tense silence to the air. And as you come down, kind of Ogval looks over his shoulder over to you coming down and says, "Fine. The stuff to the fore, we haven't looked there yet." You're on mute, Elle.
I'm just going to kind of remain silent. I see no reason to break the silence for once and just follow where they go, really.
That's okay with the map now, John, by the way. So, do you want to give me a vigilant roll? And you know
I
what?
shall indeed.
We'll put it at a -2 because it's quite dark down here in the cargo hold.
Okie dokie. Let me just grab up my dice roller. Vigilant. 1.
Nice.
I'm quite happy about
nice.
this because my vigilant is only like a 10 or something. So, yay.
You know what? Yeah, let's do this. You're
Yikes.
kind of looking around where there's a bunch of barrels and kind of some of them are sealed and some of them aren't, and maybe you're looking in them and looking around them. There doesn't really seem to be. It's a load of barrels transporting stuff. There's kind of nothing unusual to be found. And then you kind of go to one in the corner and where like a couple of barrels have been kind of pushed flush against a corner and kind of heave it backwards a bit. And there's a bit of resistance. And you kind of shake your head, heave back. And behind it, arms and hands outstretched, still trying to hold onto the barrel you've just pulled, is a small goblin who looks up at you and goes,
I have no. I yell, not like there's a goblin here, but I wasn't really expecting this, so I do kind of go,
yeah.
Yeah, basically.
The captain's voice comes across the cargo deck. What is it? The goblin is.
I keep quiet because I don't like the captain. So I'll just call back and just say, "Oh, nothing. I was moving some barrels and I accidentally tripped. You need to organize your stock better down here." And I'm going to like move one of the barrel, like kind of start to move one of the barrels back, and I'm just going to say, "I'm going to be back. We're going to have words. If you move."
You can definitely not say anything without the captain hearing it.
In that case, I'm just going to move one of the barrels back, and then I'm going to like shout out to the captain, but actually to the goblin. Anyway, I'm done here. I'll be back later, and go up to the deck.
As you're shoving the barrel in place, the goblin's
and I'm putting the barrel in place, and like looking at the goblin while I'm saying I'll be back later.
Sure.
Which is a very smart move for me. And yeah.
You can head up to deck. As you're
I'm
heading
going to tell
up
the
deck,
guys.
Sure. But before we get to that, as you're heading up to the deck, Anton shouts out for the captain, and they follow up, and everyone is now gathered on the deck again.
Captain, look, come and look at this. There's some jewelry, charm stuck here in the side of the ship. Does this belong to Arello? Does anyone recognize this?
Ogval kind of leans over and kind of places his hand under yours to kind of bring it closer in, and says, I never knew this to be something Arello had or would have. He wasn't a particularly pious man. The goblin crew member Migra, who's kind of come about halfway down the rigging now, is like looking over and goes, "Oh, isn't that Harastos?" And turns around and looks over at where the scholar has kind of come out of the cloth awning and is looking over, and he says, "Is what mine?"
Well, I'll sort of showing the charm and see if he recognizes it. And I'll look intently to see what his reaction is.
He kind of looks, takes a quick look at it and says, "Not mine at all. Why would you say that?" Migu goes, "Oh, I think it is. I think I saw it on him earlier. Yesterday and the day before." Anyone who's not just kind of, if anyone thinks they are kind of actively trying to spot the liar in this situation,
Yes.
feel free to make a vigilant roll at. I think it's quite difficult. There's nothing really to hang it on. It's not like you know them very well. A vigilant roll at, +5, I think is.
So I do not make it. I would have made it if it wasn't for the mods, but I do not make it.
Well then, yeah. Ogval shakes his head and kind of looks up at Migra. Are you sure? Migra's like, yes, definitely.
FNAir is going to everyone's very focused on what's happening here. She has no idea who the liar is, so she's going to kind of creep back down to the other goblin while this is all going on.
I'm fairly sure you would be noticed doing that.
She is not.
It's not a big ship, and basically the cargo deck is essentially off limits to the passengers. So,
in that case,
I'm pretty sure the captain would be like, "Where the hell are you going?" So, yeah.
How many days have we been on the ship at this point?
I mean, you're less than 24 hours aboard.
Making friends.
Can I just try and think back if I saw this thing on Harasto yesterday?
Sure. Let's go with. I mean, I'd like to say it'd be. Would it be vigilant or would it be?
I'd say it'd be vigilant.
A cunning roll, even for like trying to figure out if you could remember him wearing it.
I think vigilant is more. That's more correct for Symbaroum.
Yeah, go on. Vigilant at +5 again. That's fine. Yeah, Sam, go ahead.
I made it this time. I rolled a 5.
Okay, you're fairly sure you didn't.
Okay, I won't say anything.
That's not conclusive. Like he's wearing a long sleeve garment. Like,
Okay.
So if he was kind of making a move towards heading down, I do want to kind of collar her and take her to the side and have a quick chat in lowered voices.
Again,
ship.
There really is no stealth or privacy to be had on this. If everyone was gathered right at the front of the ship and you were right at the back, maybe. Or if you were on separate decks, maybe, but otherwise it's really not very big.
Okay, let me try and a different tack. I'll kind of
like it.
Yeah, I just kind of, Effie, can I get a word with you when at your convenience?
Yeah, of course. Not a problem, it's fine.
Yeah, just about setting up watches tonight. We'll do it later. It doesn't have to happen right now.
Not a problem.
What I want to do is get everyone back to doing some kind of different work and then take her to a situation where we are at an extreme of the boat to get that degree of separation.
The captain says, well, speaking of watches, would any of you upstanding armed individuals like to earn some pay?
Quick question, out of character. I'm assuming whoever's on watch, everyone would be like.
Sorry, can we deal with the question before we ask questions back to me? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, FNAir will probably say yes because it's pay.
Yeah, we can put a 3 watch together.
No, sorry. You seem to think that his question is unrelated to the conversation you have not yet had with each other.
Okay.
If you see what I mean, he's just asking you this question. He's not paying you to watch. So is anyone responding to this question?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Always interested to earn a bit of coin.
Yes, Sim.
Same here.
He nods and says, "All right then. I don't care which of you does it, but can someone take this man below decks and watch him?" He indicates Harasto.
I will kind of immediately just kind of jump on it. I'm just basically hoping that my friends will kind of suss out that because I hate the captain, there is something that I want to do below deck and not try and contest me on who wants to watch the guy.
Yeah, I think I'm shrewd enough to pick up on that, just given how much time we've worked together and how eager you are to do something.
I don't know if I'd pick up on it, but I definitely would think that Steo or Afanea would be better guarding a person than I would. So I'm not going to try and jump in there.
Sure. Afanea, can you give me a persuasive roll, please?
Mm-hmm. Oh, lordy. Okay. Just a flat one.
Yeah.
Yes, I make it.
Okay.
I'm 9, I roll a 6.
Okay. Yeah, he decides not to discard you from the running. So he glances over at you and says, "Fine. Take him below then."
Fine, he will remain watched, and I will.
Harasso is kind of going, "This is completely unnecessary. That is not my bracelet. This is tantamount to highway robbery. This, etc., etc." As he is kind of, he's not resisting you. He's just verbally not happy about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll just take him down. I don't know where the scene's going to end up, really, up or below deck. So
in character grumbling that this will be the first highway robbery I've ever seen where the robber's complaining about getting his material back.
So yeah. We'll carry on being above deck for now. Ogval says, "Right, well, I mean, perhaps that's it. But I have no idea why he'd want to cause harm to the crew."
Well, I guess we'll see. If anyone else goes missing, we'll know it wasn't him.
The captain is still on deck. Yeah, he's attending to his business, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, Ogval and Tamri are Migra are essentially going back to work. Like, while there isn't a huge amount to be done on deck on a relatively slow-moving river like this, still no one's done any work for about half an hour. So,
okay, I would like to let them have a good half hour to get some work done, but I do want to have a chat with Tamri.
Okay. Anton, Ascarai, anything you want to get up to?
I'm going to have a chat with Ascarai and just sort of gently whisper that whatever watch we organise tonight, there always needs to be one of our party who is on watch at any given time, or sleeping with one eye half open, should we say?
Yeah, I agree, Priest. I think whatever it is, something is not right on this boat, and we need to be alert.
Well, if only you brought an experienced guard with you. Am I right, lad?
All right. Before Steo gets to have a word with Tamri, I think we'll cut down below decks and see what Afanea is up to down there. So, whereabouts have you secured Harasto?
So what is there? Like, is it just the cargo deck below?
Yeah, it is just one long open hold full of barrels and crates. There's no separate room in here or anything. There's no brig. There is quite a lot of rope.
So yeah, basically, I will have kind of tied him up, kind of hands and ankles, and put him at kind of the opposite end to where I found this goblin.
Sure.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, look, I'm really sorry about this, and try and hit him so I knock him out.
Okay.
What?
Well,
Well, I mean, like, I'm about to talk to a goblin that no one knows exists. I don't trust him to, like, keep his mouth shut.
I like the idea it is a goblin that no one knows exists. Like
No one, it's just me.
no parents, no. So let's make a couple of rolls for that. So first off, I want to see how well you've done a job of tying him up. I'm almost tempted to say that accurate. I think accurate should be the thing for tying up. You know, so just give me just a flat accurate roll. That's fine.
Flat accurate.
Yeah.
Yes, just made it. It is
probably never rolled accurate before.
I haven't. If my accurate's 11 and I rolled 11, that is making. Is
Correct.
it making it? Or does it have? Yeah.
Yeah, equal to
case,
all
yes.
that. Yeah.
I made it.
And then can you make me a strong roll, please?
Yes.
For knocking him out.
Watch me fail on my highest. Like,
and we are in this series, we are obeying the Hollywood rule of knocking people out, where it just makes them go bleh for a few minutes instead of causes horrific, lasting brain damage.
Yes. All right. Yes, I make it.
Okay. Yeah, his head comes off. No. No.
Oh God.
You goddamn robot. So no, that doesn't happen. You knock him out, and he's kind of sprawled over. I really liked that noise I just made. He's sprawled over, kind of hands bound behind his back at the rear of the cargo hold. I'm assuming at this point you're creeping to the front and moving some barrels.
Basically, yeah, and hoping that he's still there.
Sure. Do you want to give me a discreet roll? But you can take it at a. I've been giving pluses where I'm meant to give minuses because it is a minus is worse. But it's a discreet at +2.
Still got to make a 7. I am not the most discreet. I don't know if we've picked up on that yet. I thought it wasn't that obvious. 8. So no, I do not make it.
Oh, so close. You do. No one comes to him. You do make a bit of a loud scraping noise. No one comes to investigate, but you do hear Migra shouting, "Oi, careful down there! Some of that's delicate."
I'll just shout up and say, "Sorry about that. Sorry, it was just just tying the priest to one of the barrels." And yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, you move.
The priest, not the priest.
Tying Anton up for good
Sorry.
measure.
Sorry, Anton. We don't
Troublesome
like priest
priest.
in these parts.
Oh, where's my phone? Told off by our stream manager. Yeah, you move the barrel to one side, and the goblin is still there. Relatively young looking goblin, not a child, but maybe a teenage goblin. He kind of looks up at you in fairly ragged clothes and says, "Is anyone else down here?"
And I'll lower my voice as well and just say, technically yes, but they're very unconscious.
All right. Who?
But I don't know, someone called Harasto. He was a scholarly type.
And he's unconscious, you say?
Okay, first things first. I'm asking the questions now. Is that okay, Goblin?
Right. But you may be interested in what you asked first.
Okay, so what are you doing here? Do you have 2 questions? What are you doing here? Do you have anything to do with these crewmates disappearing?
No, I don't. And I'm here because I kind of wanted free passage. And my... Look, my name's Mogga. I'm Migra's brother.
Does she know you're here?
Yeah, she knows I'm here.
Okay. Can you explain why she may have tried to frame him? No, wait, I don't know that yet. Can
No.
you? No, I don't know that.
Or at all.
At all. So I'm just going to say, okay. So you have. Oh, I mean, you don't look like you could do much damage, so I'll choose to believe you for now. I have no love for this captain. He seems a fool. So you're. Let it be known, I will be telling my friends, but I trust them to keep their mouths shut. Now, yes, you tell me what might I be interested in?
This Harasto. Yeah, he's no scholar. I might be interested in what's in his luggage. I certainly am. And if you help me get my hands on it, split it 50-50.
She'll kind of think for a moment, and she's just gonna look. I don't want to rob another man for no reason. However, there's been some extremely odd occurrences on this boat so far, and if it has something to do with this man, I would like to find out why. So I am happy to root through his belongings. I'm not so happy to just loot him for no good reason. I have no quarrel with this man. So how about I don't bring you the belongings, but I also don't tell anyone you're here?
Fine.
Okay,
but
good.
You could be giving up a lot of money.
I'll...
Jewels, silver. From Davakar. It's all in his luggage.
Wait, he's been to Davakar?
I don't know if he's been. Skull on my arse. Smuggler. Trader of antiquities. Not paying his taxes to bring them there.
Well, it seems I've found some interesting information about this chap. So at the moment, I can't do anything. I volunteered myself to watch him. Mm-hmm. So I am stuck down here for the foreseeable. But rest assured that I will keep your secret, and I will either myself or petition one of my more light-footed companions to, she says, immediately thinking of Askarai.
Light-fingered, more like.
To search for the man's belongings, as I now have no reason to trust him, as well as no reason to quarrel with him. And yeah, is there anything else I should know while I'm here? Again, I do know what's been going on this ship. Passengers have been going missing. Have you seen anything other than wood?
Nothing unusual. I mean, occasionally at night I have a bit of a wander.
And you can do that without being seen?
Yeah. He seems very overconfident in his ability to not be seen.
I believe it. Okay, well, yeah.
Have you seen my bracelet?
And what bracelet would that be?
He describes the exact bracelet that has been identified as a piece of evidence that has committed Harasto to having been tied up and knocked out. I mean, the knocked out part wasn't part of the intention, but Yeah.
Okay. I will just kind of this sort of like. Oh. So you're telling me that we have an innocent man locked up in the cargo hold because you went on a nighttime wander and dropped your bracelet? Okay, maybe not innocent, but still.
How was I to know that someone else would go missing?
Wait. Someone else. You said you didn't know anything. Someone else?
No, he didn't say he didn't know anything that had happened. He will have heard all of this going on. It would be impossible for him not to have heard the conversations on deck.
True. Wait, what does your bracelet have to do with people?
Nothing.
More people going missing? What?
Nothing. I just left it up there.
On purpose?
No, I dropped it.
Okay, well, at least now we know. And I'm assuming that Migra insisted it was his to protect you, yes?
A voice from up the cargo ladder says, well, isn't this a pretty little sight? If the two of you could be a bit more fucking quiet. Migra is there, like, hanging on the ladder. She looks furious.
And I will give her glare back to her and just say, if I were you, I'd be very careful who you were being mean to. Don't be mean to me. Yeah, who you're speaking to like that right now, Goblin. I don't want to make enemies, but you had this guy tied up in here and he fell and knocked himself out. and it's all because of your brother.
I am aware of this, but it's all for naught if you two carry on flirting loudly.
I'll have you know I'm a taken woman. But I'll just kind of...
Moggle looks quite chastened and he's kind of pulling the barrel back in front of him.
I'm just going to sigh and just go back over to Harasto and position myself there and just say, what time is it? Still like daytime, I'm guessing at this point.
Yeah. It's still the morning.
Yeah. And just kind of say, look, if you could at some point see to getting one of my friends down here, that would be greatly appreciated. And I wouldn't have to mention anything about him. And I'll gesture over to the brother.
Migra nods and says, all right, I'll see what I can do. Scampers up the ladder.
There we go.
So, in one single conversational scene that kind of single-handedly blasted apart any leads you have, let's go on the deck to Steo, who I believe wanted to talk to Tamri.
Yeah. So again, I'm just going to try and nonchalantly, in a place in as much privacy as possible, just kind of go, "Hey, Tamri."
She kind of looks at you warily.
You know, I might not look it, but I have a great interest in the rituals and habits of the Northerners, and Effie was telling me there is a certain custom of sacrifice here. Can I? Would you be interested in educating an old man on the local customs?
I'm assuming that Elle is laughing as for the same reason I am, which is this unconsciously sounds like such a bad chat-up line.
I was kind of aiming for that, kind of in a way.
Yes, but that plus I just saw the best reaction picture that Mike has put in a different chat of your face.
He put it in that other chat as well, did he? Huh? Okay, no, that's great. That's absolutely fine. We'll post on the social media later. It is a highly entertaining picture of my face. So, Tamri kind of glances over to you and says, "It's just words to be said, things to be thrown into the water."
Who needs to throw them in? Is it the captain or just a member of the crew?
Anyone can do it.
Does it have to be catch or can it be cargo?
Anything valuable, anything people need to survive.
Okay, so money would count as well.
It's not what people would usually throw in, but maybe.
Okay. Just to let you know, I'm seriously thinking about doing this offering on the quiet, if at all possible, maybe later this evening. I'm not one for... I'm not a man of faith, but I'm certainly a man of caution.
All right.
Let me
I'll
know
bear that
if
in
you
mind.
want
Okay, then. I think it's well worth it. And usually when a party member has information to pass back to the rest of the party, I usually go, you tell them, let's not run through it, let's not role play the scene where you tell them. But in this case, I think we definitely will. So let's have, I'm assuming all four of you under the cloth, and you're going to have to be fairly quiet about it, you know. But Tamri and Ogval and Migra are going about their business and working on a ship does make a fair bit of noise. So let's say you just have to be quite quiet about it and quite subtle about it. But I reckon the others could do with catching up.
Am I above? Like, what? Yeah, sorry. I like my brain kind of broke for a second. I'm not sure where.
Oh yeah,
am
of
I
course.
in this?
You're holding guard. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Okay, that's fine. Well, in that case,
I asked Migra to like see if she could get someone.
I do remember now.
Yeah.
Migra around sort of mid-afternoon walks up to Ascarai, I reckon, and says, "Oh, your friend probably wants food. Here you go," and kind of passes over a plate of, fruit and other easily eaten things that don't require any preparation, and kind of gestures that you should take it down to Ephanea in the hold.
Thank you. I'd take it and look kind of curiously at her, thinking like, you could have just taken her this food yourself. But in any case, I'll head down to the hold.
Why don't we have a prolonged scene where you're like, but I don't see why you just don't go down there yourself. I refuse.
I'm not some servant to take people food. How dare you? No, I'll just take the food and go down below decks.
Sure. Ephanea is there. Next to her on the floor of the cargo deck is a very woozy looking Harasto who sort of seems a bit, well, let's not say sleepy. That implies horrible things. But he's kind of woozily coming out of some kind of maybe sleep. Let's say you think he's been asleep. You walk over.
I'll hand Ephanea the plate of food. What's happened to this guy? Is he getting seasick or something?
Yeah.
Liver sick?
Indeed. No, he idiot. When I was tying him up, tripped and hit himself on a barrel or something. He's been rendered unconscious for the last short while. But let's. I'm kind of gonna glance over at him and say, it's come to my attention that he may not be the owner of that bracelet.
I had a feeling I didn't see him wearing it yesterday, but I didn't want to say anything.
Yes.
How do you know?
How alert is Harasto?
It's very hard to tell, honestly. He's got his eyes closed, but he's definitely like occasionally making noises and rolling around a bit. So he's not entirely out, but you don't think he's all that with it either.
I'm going to say, I'm going to look at him and say, I'm really sorry about this again, and try and knock him out again.
I think while we are going with Hollywood, I think you're going to start dealing some serious damage to this guy.
Okay, in that case,
hitting him hard in the head.
In that case, I'm just going to say to him, I don't know how aware you are or alert you are at the moment, but rest assured, if you can understand and if you repeat anything of what I'm about to say, I will back everyone up on the fact this bracelet is yours and have you thrown off the ship. And without waiting for an answer, I'm going to turn back to Ascarai. And as quietly as I can, which probably isn't very, but I'm trying. I'm just going to say, look, we probably don't have that much time before they notice that you're gone. So the finer details are that Migra has a small goblin brother that I uncovered while I was searching for Arello. He says that this guy is a smuggler, a trader, whatever. He's not a scholar. He has loads of Davokar like jewels and shit in like his belongings. Also, the bracelet isn't his because it's Migra's brother's. He's been wandering on the ship at night, and he dropped it. So it's definitely not this guy's. So basically, we're no closer to figuring out anything about the disappearances, but this guy isn't who he says he is. I was wondering if possible, if we could take a look through his belongings. It seems like, I don't know, Steo, I feel, would get noticed very easily, and Tom would not agree to it. He's too priestly. Would you possibly be able to look through this guy's belongings at some point? I feel you would be the least likely to get noticed.
That's probably fair. Perhaps tonight I'll try. And I mean, you say we haven't uncovered anything about the disappearances, but there's one thing we learned from that whole fiasco a while ago. It's that stuff from Davokar can easily bring attention from this kind of, well, all kinds of things. Perhaps that's what's happening on this boat.
I'd not even considered that. This is why we have you around. I do the accidental knocking out, and you do the smart stuff.
I thought you said he hit his head on a barrel.
Yeah, he accidentally hit his head in a barrel and got knocked out. Anyway, I moved past this.
10%. I'll give you 10% if you help me get off this ship in one piece.
Oh, gods. Why does this get more complicated?
I'm going to take a look at what he has before we decide.
Yeah, I'm just going to say you lie down again and shut up for now. It's enough that I haven't revealed who you are, and I don't plan to yet. We're going to look through your belongings. We're going to find out what this is. Now keep quiet, or you'll get more of the same treatment. Probably. Barrels are dangerous.
If you're going to look at it, you probably want the key.
Okay, where, pray tell, is the key?
It's on my person. 10%.
Ascarai, I kind of feel like we'd be able to get the key quite easily right now without bargaining for 10%.
I agree. I don't think that this man has as much leverage as he believes.
If you're fine with it, I'm fine with it. I'm just going to try and search the very woozy gentleman's person for a key.
He kind of glances down at you and says, I could just start shouting about the goblin. 10%. Do you know how much 10% will be?
I don't care about, well, I mean, I care a little bit, but at the moment, I care more about finding what is transpiring on this ship. Fuck your 10% for the moment. I just want to know what you have.
Triple
Then we
figures.
can work.
Just tell us what it is. What is it?
Thala.
What do you have?
He kind of smiles through the bruising and says, it's not for me to know. It's for the mages and the collectors. Jewelry, silver, old things, rune stones.
I'm just going to ask, no crowns, right?
No. Crowns? No.
Well, at least that's one thing ruled out.
Look, I'm not stupid. That little goblin wants to get his filthy paws all over it and make it off with it. But I recovered that fair and square. You understand? You're treasure seekers, yes?
I have no interest
10%
in...
just for keeping an innocent man safe. 10%.
Oh, for now, it seems that our hands are bound either way. Either, I mean, it just seems like I'm gaining more secrets to keep. Just, okay, and I'm going to turn to him. I'll see to it that you don't get thrown off the ship. I can't offer you protection further than that. I can't even guarantee that you won't get thrown off the ship. But
then what would I be paying you for?
I'll try. But
I
just want to know what is
I don't
going
see
on.
what your problem would be. The four of you are armed, heavily armed. I'm not asking you to take over the ship. I'm not asking you to have some kind of mutiny. Just make sure I get off it safely.
Fine, I will offer to... We'll basically somehow work it that me or my compatriots are the ones that guard you. And that's all I can say for now. I just want to figure out about the disappearances on the ship. I want to ask you more about what you do and how you attained all the jewels once you're slightly more recovered. And also ask that you just do not talk about the goblin, since he doesn't seem to have... He's young and stupid. Probably.
Whatever. 10%. If I get off this ship safely, you get 10%.
Where are you getting off?
Jakar.
Are you delivering your cargo to someone once you get off?
I am, but they've paid me half up front, so you can have your 10% when you get me somewhere safe.
And my final question, gods above, is just, I'm assuming that this cargo isn't dangerous, it's just jewels, etc. And the only way in which you are not who you seem is that you're a smuggler rather than a scholar, correct? You're not suddenly going to, I don't know, start flaying people or turn into an abomination, right?
He looks over at Ascarai. Is she all right?
More alright than you'll be.
She is fine. She has a good reason to be worried about that kind of thing.
I don't know why there are so many questions. 10%, and if I get off this ship safely.
Fine.
I'm not interested in conditions. That's it. That's what I'm offering you. Are you taking it?
Yes, I don't see why not. And then I'll just kind of like look at Ascarai because, like, kind of, we'll talk about it later, sort of thing.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm just agreeing to shut him up, basically.
He nods and starts making an odd hacking sound, and then cling, 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 cling. He looks up at you with a kind of sickly grin on his face and a bit of bile running from the corner of his mouth and goes, "Your key."
I'm going to, just and like see if there's like a rag somewhere that I can,
Yeah, sure, yeah.
a little bit, and then just kind of pass it to Ascarai. And it's like, I can't. I'm on guard duty. Would you be able to inform the others as to what the hell just transpired here?
I'll try and tell them about the crew hearing. Probably tonight I'll take a look at what this guy has.
Oh, thank you. I will sit with both of our stowaways, I guess.
Sure. So, Ascarai, you head back up to the main deck. Yeah, it's probably like just about starting to get dark now, I'd say. Steo and Anton, I'm assuming that you're kind of sat under the cloth awning, trying to stay as warm as possible. And
yeah,
I'd say Ascarai probably arrives there. That is where Harasto's luggage is, after all.
I'll kind of sit down as close as is inconspicuous to Harasto's area and luggage. And if there's a moment where I think we won't be overheard, I'll try and relay the information to Steo and Anton.
That's fine. Again, the crew are understaffed and working, right? So I think you can probably do it.
Yeah, I'll mention everything, including like the 10%, and that we can try and have a look when it gets dark and there's no crew immediately nearby.
So 3 shifts then. I'll take first watch.
All right.
I'll take second.
Yeah, Ascarai, can you do the graveyard?
We should be very careful, and something is not right.
It's definitely dark enough now that you could investigate the luggage while you're arranging the watch.
Okay, I'll take the key out from my robe somewhere and open whatever it is that he has.
Steo and Anton, are you helping in any way? Maybe standing in the kind of rough doorway of the cloth awning or something like that. That's fine then. I think you can give me a discreet roll, please, Ascarai, at +4.
Is this a good +4?
It's a good +4. Yeah.
Savage.
I made it. I got a 3.
Yeah, absolutely fine. You kind of get the key in and flip the chest open very quietly. There's no creak from the hinges or anything. And you're looking at pretty much as Harasto described. There is jewelry. There is odd little silver carvings. There are kind of rune stones. There's some what look like kind of like charcoal rubbings of various symbols and stuff like that. It generally looks, you've seen quite a lot of stuff, kind of the more humdrum stuff that's brought back from Davokar, and this fits that bill more or less. What I would say is that given that there's 2 of these chests, there's quite a lot of it.
Do I
This
have
is-
any idea what 10% of the value of these chests would be?
Give me a cunning roll.
Okay. I think I just failed. Yeah,
Okay.
I just failed.
Is anyone else there looking over your shoulder or anything who might be able to do a similar thing?
I would absolutely love to.
Give me a cunning roll on that. I think that's fine.
Okay, I also fail.
Okay.
Anton is not by the chest. I'm very much keeping guard
So-
the entrance to the tent.
While I'm looking over like all these miscellaneous carvings, is there anything that looks like a maiden, a river, a mermaid, any kind of nautical?
I mean, give me a vigilant roll at a -1 for the darkness.
Okay, so
I will kind of poke through it so people can see, but I'm not going to touch
Ooh.
anything. I'm going to use a dagger or like
Sure.
some.
I make it.
You can't see anything of any relevant significance. Like all the cards, there are various things, various different kind of animals, some that look kind of vaguely humanoid, but not like it's all very old and very rudimentary. You can't see anything, you can't see anything that looks like a spurned river goddess. No.
I'll kind of mutter to Askray, I'd say. I reckon if we tip this over overboard, all our problems would go away.
So the problem of not having any money.
I'd give you even odds if we threw a couple of handfuls of it over, we'd end up without any problems tonight also.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Problem is, your man there is unarmed, but I wonder would his friends object to us taking...
also I can't help but feel we'd probably lose our 10% if we threw 10% of it away.
Yeah, 100%. But I suppose 10% of this fortune's better than 20% of our party.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It could be the
Jinx.
golden day. It could be this not doing this ritual. And it could be just something else entirely. Who can say?
The ritual is dead simple. You send a handful of the catch overboard and it will placate the maiden. Usually she wants food or the fruit of the endeavor. But I honestly I don't know.
Let's just do it tonight. Why not? Throw something in.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh my god, I just do not know. Because do we make powerful allies who we know exist and are real? Like whoever this guy and his friends are? Because these guys don't work alone. Whoever's bought this stuff off him, whoever's paying him, he's going to have nasty armed men.
I just mean for the ritual. Throw some food in or something. The gold, let's leave it and hope for the best. But the ritual, as you say, we may as well. The captain is, no offense, but a typical stubborn Ambrian.
Yeah, well, I resemble that remark. I'll do it at the end of first watch unless you want to take part.
No, you go ahead. The sooner the better.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're moving on to the sort of time frame where you'll need to start taking watch now. So is there anything we want to be doing before that? First off, the three on the top deck. Anything you guys want to do before people start sleeping and or watching?
If I had a chance, I would go down and see Athenea just to tell her, for one, that we're going to do the Stia's going to do the ritual, and that the guy legitimately has a lot of gold and stuff in his boxes, but nothing too worrying.
Sure. I think you can do that, but you'll probably have to again pretend you're like taking food or something like that. So kind of on the quicker side. So unless there's any exchange you particularly want to have between you, I think we're okay to not RP it. Is that all right?
Fine by me.
Yeah.
Cool. How about Steo and Tom? Anything else before watch time?
No, I think I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Down in the hold, Elle, is there anything you want? Any interactions you want to have with the two unfortunate individuals down there?
No, I've had enough of listening to what's his face's ramblings. I probably will have a quick discussion with Goblin Brother just to say, like, look, I'm not going to to basically like say what I said earlier and say, look, I've spoken to him and I'm not going to loot this guy for absolutely no reason when he's willing to pay us 10% anyway. So I'm going to say, look, I'm going to keep his secret because I'm happy to do that, but I'm not going to loot the guy.
Sure. You hear a kind of discontented little grunt, but nothing else.
Cool.
Okay, Steo. So your watch, and you're on watch with Tamri, and you're on watch for what'll be 3 hours or so, maybe. The waters are quite still. The night air is very still as well, and you outside of Thistlehold, you can see the whole vista of stars around you. Quite well lit, oddly serene, and yeah, a bit cold maybe. So you're probably bundled up. Are you kind of walking around the deck, or are you kind of sitting at any one particular point to kind of observe? You're on mute.
Mute.
I'll be doing the very guardy thing of spending most of my time near where everyone's sleeping, but doing patrols like on the 15-minute mark, I suppose.
Sure. Tamari's kind of looking around nervously quite a lot, but kind of carries out her duties. Sometimes she's steering, sometimes she's kind of resetting the sail slightly. And then towards the end of her shift, which is more or less near the end of your watch as well, she turns around to you and says, should we do it?
I'll nod. I will kind of go to my pack of travel rations and take out like a day's worth of trail food.
Mm-hmm. You gather with her at kind of the fore of the ship, and she mutters some words in it's a barbarian tongue, but you don't understand it. And she's throwing out some rations as well, and what looks like a kind of a small wooden carving she's made. She's kind of roughly of a female figure, and she kind of tosses that out and looks at you to do the same.
I will usher forth my food into the water. Too tired to be poetic. Sorry, everybody.
Sure. So I take it you turn and head back, and maybe who was on watch next? Anton?
Yeah.
Okay. So you turn around and head back towards the cloth awning to get Anton. Can you give me a vigilant roll, please?
I'll do my best.
And let's say it's vigilant at, -2.
Oh, God, I have to roll a very low number. I fail miserably.
Okay, that's fine. You get to the cloth awning and kind of, call for Anton softly. Anton, you get up and replace Steo. Can you give me a vigilant roll at +2, please?
+2 is harder, right?
No,
+2 is easier.
Okay, well, I don't make it.
Okay.
We're the world's shittest night watch.
Good stuff. In that case, Anton, it's about... You're out on watch for 2 or 3 minutes before it occurs to you that one of the ship's crew should be on deck as well.
Okay. So can I work out who it should be? Because obviously, would I know that Tamri was just on her shift with? No, I guess
no,
maybe not.
because
If I was just like,
she certainly wasn't on deck when you stepped out of the cloth awning.
oh God.
No.
Oh God. Right. Well, I'll call out. Is anyone there? Who else is
Theo,
here?
I think there's a good chance you're still awake. It's only
Yeah.
2 minutes later.
I gotta kind of jump straight up as if I'm expecting an abomination.
Sure.
I'm gonna yell out for everyone to sort of get up on the top deck for a roll call. I guess just to count heads.
Sure.
Maybe make sure Askrai and Ephanea and also our the goblin friend Erfons.
Yeah.
So given that you're raising your voice, Askarai and Erfons are kind of stumbling blearily out of the cloth awning. The other two members of the crew are kind of climbing up from the cargo deck because they sleep in. The river roamers sleep in hammocks down there. The captain actually sleeps in the one cabin at the back of the ship, and he comes out as well. Ephanea, are you going up and leaving Harasto down there? Yeah. I mean, he's still tied up, so.
Yeah, he's tied up, and the goblin seems harmless enough, so yeah.
Sure. So you're all up on deck, and everyone's kind of looking at you expectantly, Anton.
So, we're missing someone, right?
The captain kind of brows crinkle and he says, "Where's Tamri? You were on watch. Where has she gone?"
She wasn't. I never saw her on watch. She wasn't there.
Steo, she was right behind you when you went to wake up Anton. She was stood at the front of the ship.
She was on the bow while I was handing over to you.
I swear I never saw her, and she's not here now.
Sneaky river nonsense. God damn.
I'm going to just run to the back of the boat and look to see if there's any disturbance in the water behind us from where we come from.
Give me a vigilant roll at -2.
I didn't make it.
Nope, there's no sign of anything.
We're literally the world's worst watch team.
Wait, is -2?
-2 is harder.
Yeah.
-2 reduces 2 off your stat.
Okay, then no.
I will, because obviously I'm assuming I was unaware of the fact that Steo and Tamri were going to offer something to the river goddess
Completely.
or whatever. Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of turn to the captain and just say that's 3 now. I sure you don't want to change your mind?
Wait, I did go and tell you before.
Did you? Oh shoot! Yeah, you did tell me. Okay, so I'm just going to. I'm just going to just shrug and I've got no idea what the hell's going on now. But I do know that something from Davakar is on board and weird shit's happening. So I'm just going to kind of just exchange a look with Askarai and just yeah.
I just shake my head, kind of confused.
Captain Ogval, how far away are we from Jakar?
More than a week.
Is there
We're going to be stranded if any more vanish?
A fishing village on the way that we can
pull ashore more or less anywhere.
Perhaps we could turn around and see if we can see anything We head back. She'd kind of been gone long, surely.
Yeah, but turn the boat around.
He nods and starts crying out orders to Migra, who scampers to put them into action. The ship slowly moves. He doesn't turn the ship around. What he does is rows and steers it backwards, because there are banks of oars. He directs each of you to those and kind of gets you all to pull in line together. And slowly the boat starts easing back against the current. When you get to roughly the position you'd expect, the boat would have been when Tamri disappears, he orders the anchor put over, and you're just there kind of like gliding gently side to side in the river current.
Can we see anything now?
Give me... Anton, you said it, so give me a vigilant roll at -1, please.
Hey, I made it.
Hey, you kind of look along both sides of the ship, and you can see a hat that looks like a little felt hat that looks awfully like the one Tamri was wearing, floating in the water.
Okay.
Kind of caught in some branches up against the side of the river.
Okay, I sort of point to it and yell over there, Tamri's hat.
Ogval kind of peers at it and says, I think you're right, Father. He kind of calls out for Tamri a couple of times to no response, and then kind of shakes his head and swears in a far more virulent fashion than would have been suggested by his relative piousness so far, and just starts stripping off his overclothes.
Can I ask a question? How far away has the boat been from the banks of the river all this time? Like, is it? Are we talking like how wide is this river? Are we
It's
going
not
down the
hugely wide, but neither is it particularly narrow. I'd say it's about 40 feet across.
Okay. And you mentioned that there's branches sort of overhanging the riverbank. Are they kind of hanging over a long way?
No, they're kind of like the tree is set back from the riverbank, and it's deadfall.
Okay.
Kind of winter deadfall. So no, there's no kind of like really long branches hanging over. Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you're going for, but no, the river is clear above.
Yeah.
I will grab a wrap, a length of rope that is probably available on the deck if this is a normal ship, and make to kind of give one end to the captain and kind of fasten the other end to the side of the boat.
Sure. The captain thanks you and wraps it around him, makes sure it's tight, and then without any preamble, kind of takes 1 foot on the side of the ship and flings himself and slides into the surface of the river like a kingfisher.
He's gained some respect from me for this move.
Sure. So Stio was there tying him up. Anton was there kind of looking out over the river. So loaded question. Who was likely to be stood at the back of the group?
So whereabouts would the back be in like?
Sorry, I don't really mean the back of the boat, which is exactly what I said, but that's not what I mean. The back of the group. So you're all along one side of the ship, right? Yeah. And you're all kind of looking out to a certain degree, but probably there's not room for all of you to be bulked together looking out like that. So I'm figuring that Askarai and Ephanera stood a little further back.
I figured that I would be, yeah.
You reckon you'd be stood? You've come up from under. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Okay, in that case, can you give me a defense roll, please, at -3?
Oh, lordy.
Obviously, you're not berserk at the moment, right?
Yes.
So,
I mean, I still have garbage defense.
Yeah, sure.
But
yeah,
actually, I'm trying to think what it is now, actually, because wait, I haven't bought any new armor. What am I talking about? Yes, so defense -3, my defense. is 9, 8, 7, 6. All right, cool. So, come on, dice roller. Absolutely not. Not even a little bit.
Sure. Could you, because I want to kind of narrate this in the appropriate way, could you give me another defense roll, please?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Still -3, yeah?
Yes, still at -3.
Still absolutely not even a little bit.
That's absolutely fine. What is your armor?
So my armor is a D6, but also I like if I'm about to get attacked, would it be combat for the new skill that I bought with my XP points? Or
what is the new skill that you bought?
so it was. If we give me one moment, I went up. Oh no, wait, because I think that possibly might have been. I think I went up a level in my Berserker Rage, meaning that I had an extra D4. I ignored an extra D4's worth of damage. However, I'm not in my Berserker Rage.
Yes,
so
you're not in the Berserker state,
yeah.
so that's fine. Then just give me 2 armor rolls and let me know what they are, please.
Okie dokie. Right, let's do this. 2 armor rolls. 6 and a 3.
Okay, not bad.
Nice.
Not bad. In that case, just take 2 toughness.
Okie dokie.
But let's.
Which I vanish.
No. Can
Good.
you give me a resolute roll to see if you can have the wits to try and make noise?
Okie dokie.
Because what's happening to you, you kind of can't vocalize.
I do not make it.
Okay. Askarai, can you give me a vigilant roll at, I think this is safely like +3 or something. Like FNA is bound to be right near to you.
Okay.
And she's not inconspicuous.
I rolled a 1.
Okay. You just feel like the hairs on the back of your neck rising. Something's happening behind you. You're not sure how you know that. Maybe just some creaking noise on the edge of your hearing lets you know, but you kind of just stand up a bit sharper and twist round, and you see Ephenea lifted off the deck of the ship by a huge claw. The kind of leg attached to it has curled over the opposite side of the deck, and has the claw is kind of squeezing and crushing Ephenea as she kind of desperately tries to like thump the deck and make a vocalization as it's dragging her backwards towards the opposite edge of the ship.
I think before anything, I would just yell Ephenea as loud as I possibly can.
That's absolutely fine. I think that can get everyone's attention. And let's go into initiative. So, can we... it's a standard, obviously. It's standard initiative for everyone else. John, you can go ahead right now and let's just call it the claw for now, shall we? Let's call it the claw, and it's at quick 9, so it's probably a little bit slower than most of you guys, if not all of you. But yeah, let's get that initiative.
Am I actually? I'm assuming am I even in the initiative because I'm currently?
Yeah. You are. Yeah.
Nice.
You definitely are. You're pretty fucked, but you are. Yeah.
Do we involve not Diriak?
Earthons.
Earthons will be involved.
Earthons.
Yeah. As with most NPCs, I'll just shove Earthons in at the end. That's fine. So there we go. Askarai. Now I am going to adjudicate that. Here we go. Antom's definitely got his weapon because he's on watch. I don't think Askarai will have. Because he was.
I would agree that I don't have my bow, but I probably would have a dagger.
Yeah, I think
Well,
that's fair enough.
I'd imagine.
And I think likewise, Theo, I think you could maybe have your dagger, but not your halberd out. I think picking them up, if you want to get them, is going to be a turn's worth of like the move and then the combat action of getting your gear, sort of thing. But yeah, I think that's reasonable, don't you? So,
yeah.
With that in mind, Ascarai, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Is there any? Is this going to be within reach of a dagger? Like,
yeah, if you move forward, you can definitely try and like strike at the claw or the leg to try and do some damage. Yeah,
I think that's what I would attempt. Try and strike at the claw in the hopes that it might release its grip enough that FNA can get out or something like that. And seems faster than going for my bow, so I'll try and just stab it in its weird claw thing.
Sure. Well, then you can make an attack roll at a +1. Its defense is +1. So
okay. I make it.
Okay. What is your damage?
Okay, so this is a D6 and a D4 for feint.
Oh, nice.
I got 4 total, which is great.
You kind of dash at it and kind of wildly thrust your dagger, although I just said wildly thrust and then had you swinging. You wildly try and basically try and get your dagger in. You kind of flip it overhand and try and get the point through some of the hard chitin covering the claw. And no, you don't manage to penetrate it. Now that you're closer to it, there's an overwhelming stench of river muck and you know that kind of crustacean smell like you get from lobsters and crabs and the like, a kind of odd sickly, almost chemical smell wafting off the extended leg and claw of whatever this creature is. Ephenea, can you give me, please, a so this is that versus that. Can you give me a strong roll at -1?
I can indeed. Let's do this. Yes, I make it.
Okay. You basically, with a great kind of heave and a cry, mostly as your lungs manage to fill up with air again, you stretch the claw apart and kind of drop and clatter to the deck, kind of rolling around a bit. Like you don't get to do much else with your turn, but you are now free. You've broken free from the claw. Steo.
I am going to use my turn to get my halberd and, if at all possible, black gift.
Absolutely. I think Ephenea already had black gift on her because I think
I was on watch.
You were guarding the guy below, right? So I think you would have had it with you.
In that case, can I spot Ascarai's bow? Or will it?
Yeah, by all means, it'll be resting against the captain's cabin or something.
I'm going to do basically a shuttle run to bring everyone's weapons back.
That's absolutely fine. You grab your halberd, you grab Ascarai's bow, and you dash back outside. So the claw.
I can't take it seriously. I'm sorry.
The claw is going
to
make an attack on Ascarai, I think. Yeah, why not, eh? So Ascarai, give me a defense roll at -3, please.
Okay.
And you might as well, give me another one. It gets 2 attacks at the same opponent every turn. So always make 2. Might as well make 2 in a row.
Well, I definitely failed one, but I made the other one.
Okay. So give me a single armor roll.
Okay. I've only got a D4 for armor. I rolled a 3.
Okay. Take 2 toughness. Essentially, the claw kind of snaps towards you a couple of times, very swiftly. And on the first one, it manages to kind of briefly clamp over your forearm, and you feel something crunch slightly. And as you pull away, it leaves sort of rakes of blood along your forearm. but it didn't manage to get hold on you. So you are free. And Tom.
How far away from the claw am I?
Well, the boat's width, it isn't far. So probably, I'd say maybe 10 feet or so.
So could I get over there and attack in one?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, I'll do that then.
Go over there and flail the
I will
fuck out of it.
flail the crab.
Flailing the crab. Hashtag. Yeah, attack roll then, please.
Okie doke. One attack coming right up. Maybe. Yes, I'll make it.
Okay, give me a damage roll. Sorry, I should have said the attack was at a -1, but
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah. No, -1, +1 actually, +1.
8 for my damage roll.
8, very nice. So yeah, Anton dashes over and with a kind of a righteous cry, overhand brings his flail, which I think we agreed is kind of like lengths of chain with like iron balls on the end of them, right? Brings it over at basically where the leg attaches onto the claw, and you hear something kind of crack and snap, and shards of chitin fall to the floor, and the claw is now on at an odd angle. A viscous black ichor is dripping from the leg, and the boat rocks slightly, and the claw starts pulling back over the edge. So let's have another round.
Excellent.
Ascarai. Well, actually, no. Let's go with Urfons. Urfons is actually climbing up kind of the slightly raised back of the ship where the captain's cabin is. He's climbing up that slightly. He's got his long silver sword strapped to his back, and he's just kind of hanging off the edge of the ship with one hand, kind of peering down into the water. Ascarai, you can grab your bow off Steo as a movement action if you want.
I will do that. Say a quick thanks to Steo and just turn and shoot at the retreating leg as fast as possible.
I think that's absolutely fine. Then give me your it's vigilant, isn't it, for your bow, and give me that at a +1, please.
Okay. I did not make it. I won.
Okay. Your I maybe should have added difficulty to that for doing it at night as well. But hey, it's a big claw and it's right in front of you. But your arrow nevertheless goes arcing out over the river, and he's lost somewhere on the shore. Good thing those don't cost a shilling each. Which I don't know if we mentioned this on stream, but I think we did. But we're definitely making them not cost that, because
I'd be swimming across after it if it's still cost a shilling.
It's a day's work. So, Ephenea,
Yes.
you are on the deck. It will take you a full turn to get back up, unless is it a quick roll to get back up from the floor in one round.
I may as well attempt it.
With the caveat, I think that if you fail it, then you don't get back up. Yeah, I think, is that the thing? I could be entirely wrong on that. I'm just opening my cheat sheet, which seems to have crashed in the middle of this.
Fantastic.
In the middle of this stream, which isn't great. But I definitely have a thing on it. Oh, and now it's just not responding at all. Great. Okay. Well, make a quick roll anyway.
Okie dokie. Just a flat one.
Yeah, please.
Yes, I make it.
Okay. So you basically scramble up to your feet, and if you want, you can take your so that's just taken like one of your actions. And if you want, you can take your other action to grab Black Gift off Steo.
Yes. Didn't we say I already
No,
have it?
you already have it. No, you already have it.
Yeah.
I think it will still take an action to draw, though. I think drawing takes.
Yes.
It does draw.
So
take an
yeah,
action
I'll use my other action for that then.
to draw it. I don't know how you hold it. I'm fine with anything as long as it's not
Two-handed,
on
I
your
think.
back, because that's wrong.
Yeah. No, it's a two-handed sword.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
idea where it would be, but I have it now.
It will be
At my
along the
side?
base of your back, or just in a
Yeah.
regular. I won't start going into this, or I'll be here.
Your
all night
sword
with
is
how you
your
carry
own
long
ships.
swords.
We
I
have a
it
covenant.
on my back.
We have a
It's
covenant
just
that
right on my back, just slung across it. I'm just going.
And then you draw it, and it somehow disobeys the laws of physics. As you,
we have a covenant. I won't complain about the very shady naval architecture on that map, and you won't complain about accurate weapon mechanics.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. So, you ready yourself with Black Gift, ready to take vengeance on this horrible river creature.
Can I use my free action to go in berserker mode?
Yeah. You can go into berserker. Steo.
Okay, so this thing seems like it's on its way to departure. It's definitely on the retreat.
Yeah.
I'm concerned for the fate of our good captain, so I'm not actually going to make an attack this round. I'm going to make sure and start trying to pull him in.
Going to start trying to haul the captain in. That's a very good plan. You kind of dash over to the other side, and you take a hole on the rope, look over the side, and see the captain's head and arms going underneath the water. Give me a strong roll at a minus. I'm going to say it's more than that because you're not actually on him and doing it. I'd say it's a -3 for opposing with the rope rather than having a hold of the guy and trying to.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. And I might be spending willpower on this. Let's see what happens. Oh no, I don't need to. Hooray!
Hey, there we go. With an almighty heave, the captain bursts back to the surface of the river, and you start kind of pulling him in. He seems worse for wear. You can see some kind of bloody gouges on him, but nothing. He's definitely still alive. He's kind of spitting out water and cursing and kind of holding on tight to the rope as you pull him in. It's going to take you another turn to actually haul him in. But you think it might attack him again, I guess, but for now he's safe on the surface of the water. So the claw is going to retreat over the side of the ship and sink underneath the water. Anton, what are you doing? I mean, we'll move out of combat now, but what are you doing? I think you're on mute, mate.
So quickly scanning around to see if everyone's still around, and then I guess probably dashing over to Steo to help him with the captain.
Sure, yeah. You do that between the two of you. You kind of grab him, pull him up, and haul him onto the deck, where he kind of slides around a bit and then kind of starts trying to clamber to his feet, coughing out river water. All five of you. There's only 4 of you. Who am I talking about? Everyone on board feels the ship lift up into the water. It was sat for whatever reason. It's no longer sat anywhere near as low in the river as it was, and it just bobs up to the surface, now feeling quite light, floating in place along the river's surface. Can everyone give me a vigilant roll, please?
Ooh.
I make it.
Yeah. Who hasn't made it?
I make it.
I got a 1.
Oh.
Ooh.
Elle, do you make it? Cool. You're on mute, by the way. No, it doesn't matter right now. But in that case, you know what? I'm going to say all of you except Ascarai are prompted by a cry from Earthons. But Ascarai had already seen it, and the 4 of you kind of scamper up to the top of where the captain's cabin is, where the back railing is, and you see a dark shape, like surrounded by kind of rolling water, just moving under the surface of the river back from where you came. swimming just under the surface, a large thing of legs and claws and chitin that is just decided that the River Maiden is not where it wants to cling and make its home anymore, and it's going to where people won't attack it with sharp things.
No, don't like that.
I think there we are for the stream. I think
Nice.
that's a nice little point to leave that. Not for the river roamers, obviously. poor Tamri, etc. But there we go. That's the
Was
session.
the implication that it had been like, just so I'm not being stupid,
No.
that it had been hung, well, like that for the
it was,
entire
like,
journey?
clinging to the bottom of the boat. Yeah, and then just...
Yeah. Just on an evening. Just chilling.
Oh, it's
Basically.
a snacky friends. I can't be.
It would be rude not to be dragged under by its claws and be fed to its teeming mandibles. That's the end of the session tonight. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you've got any comments or any questions, please sling them into the chat and John will pop them up for us to address. The usual promo afterwards, all our links, our social media, our YouTube, our Patreon, etc., all in the video description below. We've got another streaming series where we play Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. I GM that with a different set of players, and that is now on Tuesdays. We were on a different day, but now we're on Tuesday evenings at 8 o'clock starting from next week. I think that's all my promo junk out of the way. We had a follow while we were doing that from Thy Voice Released, so thank you very much for that. And does anyone have any comments or questions or the like? For the purposes of our players, your XP, did we have more than... Yeah, we made a lot of rolls in that, and I can't think of 2 scenes where we did a lot, but I think everyone did a lot of rolling, so I think we can have 2 XP for that. I think that's a decent amount for that. Exciting crab times, crab lobster monster times.
Yeah,
My favourite times.
I saw a comment from Elle when we were partway through that of, I don't think this is going the way that Matt thought it was going to go. Not entirely. I wouldn't say that anything that was done was like, there was certainly no decapitation of the boss type moment. But like, I just wasn't expecting everything to come out so quickly. Like, you found the stowaway, and
like your face when I rolled a 1 and like,
I was just like,
stowaway.
but honestly, I
like...
thought that was quite fun because it led to like that little moment of sort of things. That was quite fun, and it was quite fun to just barrage you with all the different offers and crazy things. That was quite fun.
Like Eponea was just literally like, what happened? There's so much.
Obviously, there could be some fallout from this little storyline. That is more or less the story. This story, for anyone curious, is in Adventure Pack 1 of Symbaroum, and it's called The Curse of the River Goddess. And it's and we've basically done it there. That's it. There we go. Is this a published scenario or homebrew? It is a published scenario from Adventure Pack 1, as I say. As with most of the stuff, quite modified. I'm modifying most of these to some degree. This one, not so much. Pretty straight down the line. But a little few tweaks here and there. So next session, there are still some fallout for this we could manage. What's going on with, Harasto and everything like that. But I think the idea is that, this is the boat journey part of this has been covered. And we'll move on more directly to our main story next week, which is The Tomb of Dying Dreams. As Steve points out, it sounds great. As Steve points out, the bundle of holding deal for Symbaroum is still going. There's 2 different bundles there, PDF bundles you can get, where a bunch of it goes to an excellent charity who are doing medical stuff, which obviously in 2020 is a good thing, trademark. So get yourself looking at that if you're interested in Symbaroum, because it's a hell of a deal. Don't quote me exactly, but I think it was something like £15 or $15 for like a whole bunch of stuff. And there's one you can get with the core books, and there's one you can get with all the setting books. And it's, if you like your PDFs, It's a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal. So there we go. Thanks. We were in a real pinch for a moment there.
Nice.
Mike, would you like to? Have you got anything to say to defend yourself?
Feeling very happy with that. Very happy. Only took me half an hour.
Well, you've beaten your record then, I think. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks to the players. Thanks to John, our wonderful stream manager, as always. And we will see you this time next week. Well, not this time, the earlier time, the time when we started. 8 o'clock next Wednesday, more Symbaroum. Come join us. We'd love to see you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Farewell.